Okay, we're doing it right.
Yep.
Mic, testing 1, 2, 3.
Are you just going to hold it?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready to do this?
Don't deep throat it.
Ready to do this?
We ready?
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Elle, but you can call me Panda.
And I'm Mike, but you can call me Big Gay Mike.
And welcome to TropiQ, which I've been excited to say since we started talking about this.
Exactly.
And who's TropiQ?
What?
Who's TropiQ?
TropiQ. We're two queer expats living our best lives in Bohol, Philippines, and want to share it with you.
Yes, and we are ready to dive in and share our truth. And I think that when we talk about sharing our truth, we're really kind of wanting to share our experiences here. I know that for me, I've been here in Bohol a little over a year and a half. And I kind of think that I wish I had a few resources to help me kind of settle in as a queer person, moving from the US to the Philippines. There's a lot of resources on Facebook and all that stuff, but I think that there's nothing that beats human interaction.
I 100% agree. I've been here 3.5 years, and I love every minute of it, but I will say it has just been the past 6 months that I've really been able to find a wonderful base here where queer people can really experience, be themselves. And, I feel like I have a queer family again. I am very big on diversity, and I, have never been one to homogenize my lifestyle. But it's really been nice to find that. And like Elle said, maybe we can help some other folks find that, make it a little easier for them. And along the way, just share how friggin' fabulous the Philippines is, and especially Bohol.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know that before moving here, I was watching a lot of vloggers, kind of just taking their perspective from their point of view. And it was great because I learned that, there were a ton of people moving here. They were coming out to visit here. But I think the one aspect that I was kind of missing was the queer part of it.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. So, being open with your identity was a little more freeing. I know that not all parts of the U.S. is like that, but I was privileged and fortunate enough to grow up in an area like that.
Yeah.
And so my fear moving was what is it going to be like moving to the Philippines? More so like Bohol, just because we talked about this before, especially when I first met you. We were talking about religion and just kind of point of view, and then kind of other people's perspectives. So yeah, I really am grateful that I got a chance to meet Mike. We've known each other, I want to say 4 months?
4 or 5 months.
I know, but it seems like it's been forever,
yeah.
which is crazy because, when we started talking about TropiQ, I think that we both kind of latched onto this idea that this would be freaking awesome because one, we always have the best conversations. Two, when I first met Mike, I creeped on his Facebook, got to know him, and I just love your stance on a lot of things. And it's great to kind of hear that voice and kind of see that voice out here. And you definitely aren't quiet to what you believe in, and some of the challenges you face.
Yeah.
And I know that we're going to definitely talk a little bit more about you in the next episode when I put you under the fire with my questions. But yeah, meeting you those months ago, and then I think from that point, you had a lunch. And just kind of introduce other folks into our circle of friends, which has grown.
And I've always been what I call a connector, getting people together that,
I can see that.
Need to know one another. My experience, I did none of the research. I didn't research anything before I came here. I, 15 years ago, met a wonderful gay Filipino in Washington, D.C., where I'm from. And 3 years later, I visited the Philippines, fell in love, and that really is how I ended up here. I've lived here 3.5 years full time, and came over because needed to deal with some businesses we had here after the pandemic. But, the whole queer thing, I've been queer since the minute I got here because I came with a husband. So that's not been, any thing that I felt I had to deal with. And it's actually been one of the beautiful things. Even though I didn't have a queer foundation of community, I was accepted wholeheartedly, which really surprises me because, a lot of the, especially American expat community here is so MAGA. And as Elle was alluding to, I'm not quiet about my feelings and beliefs. But it is one of the beautiful things because this is a community where everyone, I think, can be welcome. We've all come here to find our dream, whatever that dream may be, and live our best life. So, yeah.
And I kind of think that, like, since moving here and being here, for a little over a year and a half, one thing I've learned is, the kind of perception and view that I had of, oh my gosh, I should be fearful of kind of being who I am or having to take several steps back with like how I express myself and my identity. I think a lot of that was kind of just those thoughts in my head that I started to just kind of like put into place based on, I think, the one post. When we met, I told you, like, when I moved here, there was a Facebook post about Pride, and I made a comment, of how excited I was because, for me, Pride has always been about the celebration of like humans and coming together and being able to accept. Though I know that the historical context of Pride is the things that we've done and those before us to like fight for rights and get us to where we are. And, we'll dive into it a little bit later, but yeah, definitely the post got some really kind of interesting reactions, which had me second guess like, oh my God, what the hell?
Well, and that's the other
doing?
thing that I have totally discovered here is some of my closest friends are banned on my Facebook because they literally don't know how to discuss something on Facebook, and they're just judgmental and honestly sometimes just pure assholes. And Facebook here in the Philippines is everything. There, whereas we go to websites, we do texting through regular texting channels, everything is Facebook and Messenger driven here. That was a big thing to get used to.
Yeah.
So you have people, and a lot of these older expats, Elle and I are definitely some of the younger expats. I'm 57.
I'm 49.
Elle's 49.
Turning 50.
Yeah, so, but, technology wasn't a big thing for them. So now they have to use Facebook and Messenger to communicate because it's how it happens, So you get these Facebook groups and people just start sharing shit they shouldn't share, and they don't even think twice.
And ruffling people's feathers.
You're totally ruffling feathers,
And then I get to hear like what your thoughts are about those things. And I'm just like, interesting.
Yes. Well, and that's been another nice thing about, connecting with Elle is I finally have someone that I can throw things off on them. What do you think about this? What about that? I'm really pissed off at this, and
Yeah, I feel this. I feel the same way. I mean, like, since meeting you and then like kind of seeing this circle of friends that like you helped start by throwing together like that lunch, and then just kind of like it growing. I think over the last like few months we've gotten a chance to meet more folks, welcome them into the circle. And I think that's the beautiful thing. It's like what I was talking about earlier is like, that's kind of the part that really fulfills a bit of that identity that I was kind of curious or scared to kind of share out here. So it's been awesome, one, to just be able to sit and have these conversations with you, to meet other like-minded individuals that, surprisingly, they've all moved to the Philippines, I want to say within the last 1-2 years. So there's kind of that time frame element to it where we're all on a similar journey, maybe in different stages, but that's been cool.
And the extended circle, there's some that have been here a little longer, and It's also one of the cool things about this group is we've got farmers, chefs, fashion designers,
Accountants.
accountants, people, seamen, that have worked on big ships, and just it's such a variety. And, so that makes life here just so beautiful because one day we might be, sitting in the swimming pool at a resort. The next day we're off at the permaculture farm learning about that, or sitting at a fabulous farm to table restaurant
Yeah.
that a friend has. So it's, that's the other thing that I think TropiQ is going to do is going to just let folks see some of the beauty here, because one of the wonderful things about the Philippines, it chose me, it chose Elle, but it is a very affordable country to live in if you are coming with means, and then you do see the other side of it. People here live on very little, and there is a lot of struggle. So there is that side of it as well.
Yeah.
But, it is a beautiful country that lets folks really live a wonderful life, and you can live it directly within the community. I mean, you don't have to, be separate because you're an expat, I think our group is very community oriented, and it's Filipinos, it's Americans,
Yeah.
it's Australians, it's people from all over, Switzerland. So I think that's just one of the beautiful things, and one of the things that we can show through TropiQ is what an amazing opportunity we have to live a beautiful life.
Yeah, and I'm
So,
excited about like this journey with TropiQ as well, because once again, since we've been talking about this over the past like few months and really kind of finding the time to just commit to it, I'm really excited about kind of like sharing those point of views that
yeah,
you were pointing out.
yeah,
I think that especially with the Philippines, there's so many different, I mean, there's what, over 7,000 islands,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And every island is very unique and different and
yep,
very beautiful. And, for someone that maybe lives in Manila, Cebu, it's quite a different experience to those that live here in Bohol.
yeah,
And I think for us, and for me, I'm excited to just kind of, like you said, really get to share kind of through our experience as queer folks, as expats, as those who are a bit older, in age, that, this is what it's like and that it can be fun. And I
yeah,
love the diversity of our, Queers of Panglao group,
yeah,
and I love that there are those individuals that are super involved and those that just, quietly sit, in the background and
yeah,
come in when
yeah,
they're ready to or when they want to. So, yeah, I think that this is something that, I agree is just another added resource, because Facebook is huge here. Like, I think that there's like every expat group of Philippines on Facebook, and you can join any one of them,
yeah.
and they're all different.
And then there's community groups,
Yeah.
there's buy sell groups, there's let's make bread groups.
Yeah.
It's like I said, Facebook is everything here, and you can find anything you want through there.
Yeah.
Now, information might not always be correct, which we'll also share with you how relaxed the Philippines is, which is beautiful. But at times, you think back to, in the US or in Europe, we do it differently. But,
It's like a give and take, right?
it's a
Like,
give and take. And, there's 10% you might get frustrated with, at least for me,
Yeah.
and 90% that is just amazing. And, my life has never been this wonderful. So I'll learn, and, maybe it'll help me grow. And it definitely has helped me grow. I am a much calmer person now, and much less stressed out, uptight. Now, maybe not when you ask my husband, but most of the time.
And I think that, like, it's really just like a level of patience that you have
Yeah.
to have. And I think that and I haven't had an opportunity to live in any other parts of the world. I know that there are others that have. I think though what I've learned here is patience is key, right? Because
Yeah.
I know that like the way things are done is one way, but it's not necessarily the right way. It could be a better way of doing it, but I think that, hey, I'm here in the Philippines. I'm just trying to find my groove and try to live my best life for the reasons I'm here.
Yep.
and I just have to have a little bit of patience. I mean,
Yep.
if anything, I just love the empathy and the kindness of the Filipino community, you
100%.
know?
Yeah.
I think that they, I think that, the one thing is people here will like do everything they can just to make you feel comfortable
Yeah.
and welcomed, you
And
know?
I think one of the beauties of that, one of the reasons of that is here in the Philippines, there's not a lot of disposable income. So a lot of your social and free time is spent with others, and so you have this just incredibly loving community and open and, you go to someone's house, they're gonna feed you.
They will.
As a vegetarian,
And you
that
take
is
food
a
home.
trouble for me. And you take out food home. But you get invited as a guest to somebody's house. You're going to meet everybody. They're going to want to learn about you and talk to you and, share about themselves. And it's so wonderful. I've had a beautiful experience here. I grew up in a very small family. I have two cousins. That's it, a brother and a sister. And here, my husband and I have basically adopted a couple kids. They're older, and just we have a wonderful family, but it's a chosen family. And that's one of the beauties of things here.
Speaking of family, I wanted to ask you, so like, do you do the blessing, where, when the kids come up to you, they're like, you do the hand blessing, they bless you.
So yes, definitely. And I'm a hugger, so we hug also. And
Okay.
for a long time we just hugged, but lately there's a lot more blessing that
Okay.
happens. So what Elle is talking about is since Elle is younger than me, he would bless me when we met. The expats and adults don't really do that. Now, if you go in, like when I see, my father-in-law or auntie, uncles, I still hug a lot, but I will bless as well. It is respect. And it's another thing that I think is amazing here is kids respect elders.
Yeah.
I have not seen the level of respect that I see here in a long time. Maybe when I was a kid it felt like it, but yeah, the kids we bless, you know, but I'm a hugger, so we hug also.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that just because you were talking about family, and it was like one of those things I thought I was like, I wonder if like Mike like
Well,
blesses all the
so
kids,
it's
that he's surrounded by.
interesting. Elle and I go to an American restaurant a lot that a friend of ours owns. And Steve is very big on the staff calling people by their name. He doesn't want them being called sir,
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah,
So
he doesn't. He wants it
interesting.
to be more of American
Okay.
feel. So a couple times, staff that he has have been people that I have referred. One is who I consider one of my youngest kids, my youngest son. He's in college now, so no longer working. But he always called me Sir Mike, and he was going to call me Sir Mike. And now, my right-hand gal, her sister-in-law, 18 years old, is working there. And I can't go in there without Mayanne blessing me, And I'm just like, Steve, it's going to happen. It's just how it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's so. I never knew that about like
Yeah.
that experience there. But I think that that's cool because I think that like a lot of what I've found here in Panglao, especially, is a lot of places that we tend to like visit. They do try to bring a unique character or like a unique quality to
Yeah.
the experience. That's interesting. But yeah, like the blessing part, it took me a bit of time to also get used to that as well. And
Do you bless like your aunties and
I do.
uncles?
I do more so now also.
Yeah.
And I think that part of that is that when you move, from my thought about this is like moving to another country. I really want to be able to kind of adapt and
Yeah.
adopt like to the culture norms. And I think that, like you said, it's a level of
And
respect.
I do go with the flow with that because I think a lot of Filipino men that I meet want to do a handshake because that's sort of they look at me as a businessman. I don't know why. But it's sort of that way of, respecting the culture I come from as well as saying, we're equals, which I really like that.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, because let me tell you, that's one thing, like I just said, people talk and share. And that's what I love. I have learned so much because in the States, I don't think elders really, the kids go play by themselves and the middle age go play by themselves. The elders are, and that's what I love. People just talk.
Yeah, like there's an openness, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like there's definitely an
Yeah.
openness, and I will say that what I have been also doing with some of my family members that I feel like are within the same age as I am, maybe a little bit younger, is fist bumping.
Fist bumping. Yeah.
Which they
That's,
adopted, like at
yeah.
first when I got here, like I wasn't, as I'm like learning certain family members and
Yeah.
connecting with people for the first
Yeah.
time, I think for me there was the shyness of like doing the blessing thing, and so what I
Yeah.
would do is I would do like the fist bump, and now it's just like sometimes we're just kind of like this, like and then
Yeah.
we do the fist bump. So yeah, but really it's just about like adopting some of like the norms here, and I love the idea of level of respect. That we really are able to like share with those that we're close to,
Yep.
family members, and also
Will Iron,
friends.
that can go inside. And we're recording out here, so.
So let's kind of talk about, like we were just talking about this before we pressed record, is what do you think TropiQ is going to talk about? Like I know that we're going to talk about like our experiences here, but the other day I was like saying, yeah, like I kind of don't want it to be like, I definitely don't want us to like filter, our thoughts.
That's
And
what I
point of
think.
view,
I think it's
you
going to be
know?
hard to say what TropiQ is going to talk
Yeah.
about, other than it's going to be our experiences. And we might put a script together on a Sunday and then sit down to record on a Wednesday. And what happened on Monday, Tuesday totally,
Yeah. Changes
changes
everything.
everything. Or,
And it could be also like not necessarily experienced in the Philippines, because I also, one thing that I love about our conversations is, as an example, there's kind of the political side to our conversations, right? And I think that, especially being queer or
yeah.
queer identifying, there's a lot that's happening right now, right? And I know that you definitely are vocal to like some of what's happening. And I love that. And so being able to like recognize that.
Yeah, and I think we might not be living it. We might be fortunate enough to be living on this beautiful, beautiful small tropical island and not directly affected by it, but it does affect us. We have wonderful friends, family, still in our home country, so we follow that, the politics and all of that. And I, for one, am very vocal. I mean, I have, 3 queer identifying nieces and nephews, and, so that's sort of my driving force there. But I also, I don't want any of my family to have to live in some of the things that I'm seeing. So, well, it doesn't directly affect me, and but it's also, I'm sure some people will ask questions. How often do you go back to the country where you were born and raised? And, as little as possible. There's plenty of expats here that come and go.
Yeah.
But, for me, I also think I moved around a lot as a kid, so I learned to acclimate, and I don't know if this is bad to say or not, but I don't miss the U.S. at all. I do miss some people, but thank God we have video chat and, text and everything. So I think back to your original question, what are we going to talk about? Experiences.
Yeah.
What's it about?
And anything else that comes to mind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
pop culture,
Yes,
like
yes.
Philippines.
Yes.
I'm sure we're going to talk a lot of crap, maybe.
Well,
I don't
and
know. I don't know.
it's interesting, pop culture and stuff like that. It's so different here. It's like 30 years ago. So all my favorite songs are part of karaoke.
And they're popular at karaoke,
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really excited to just kind of sit down with folks, and especially also, and kind of introducing like some of the cool people that you've introduced to me, and kind of like highlight some of the cool things
Well, and
people
some of the
are
cool
doing
people
out here.
you've introduced.
You know?
I mean, I love that, we were at a bar one Friday night, and Elle sees
yeah.
these vloggers that have, I had actually watched some of their videos. They built this beautiful home for 87,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
Nothing when you see this house. And the next week, Elle couldn't go with us, but me and two other guys went up and saw the house and got to know them and just sat there and shot the shit with them for
Yeah.
2 hours. So
Yeah, and shout out to Matt and April, the Grounded Nomads, Corellia Homestead, because
Yes.
I am like big fans of their YouTube channel, and it was so interesting and really cool to just watch their experience building their home
Yeah.
because it is super beautiful. I mean, it's kind of like your home. So thank you for hosting our very first video here with the mighty giraffe behind us. I wanted to make sure that we got that.
yes, I always wanted a giraffe.
But yeah, like seeing Matt and April like build this home and just kind of walk through the steps and some of the great things and the challenges and really building this amazing place. And so, yes, I'm a little like jealous that I wasn't able to be there, but had to take care of some stuff. So things
go
happen.
again.
We'll go again. But yeah, like just, because we have some friends that are also in the process of getting their place, their land, and then also, with ideas to like, what they want to build. And I thought, like,
And
yeah,
that'll probably be a whole nother episode. I mean, I just, Elle has his experiences with buying existing properties,
Yeah.
renovating their family home from before. I've built commercial, residential from the ground up. Other friends have used, this very interesting expat that's building this, just seems to be a incredibly environmentally friendly home. So yeah, that'll be a whole nother episode.
yeah, because that's big here. I
Yeah,
mean, I think
yeah.
that a lot of people come here to like build their dream homes.
Yeah.
And I think that you definitely can get a lot of advice, great advice, and maybe not so great advice. I think that there's a lot to
It's a lot.
navigate. So yes, it probably is going to be like it's going to be like a full episode of ours to
Yeah,
talk about.
yeah.
And maybe we'll have to bring in other folks that
Yeah.
have been through the process.
Well, yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Because yeah, it's quite interesting because
Yeah.
with my build and the improvements, I was definitely kind of navigating through like, oh my God, like I don't have that kind of design eye. And, my dad was a contractor, had his own company, but I just never adopted those genes
Yeah.
and skills. So I wish I did. So it was quite interesting.
But I think this points out you get to do cool things here.
yes,
You have to
yes.
step outside your element and do other stuff.
Yeah,
So,
and people are willing to help, which is
Yeah,
awesome too,
yeah.
So yeah, I think that we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm super excited. I don't know like what the frequency of our like recording is gonna be because Mike is super busy. You'll get to know that he like
I'm
knows
trying
quite a
to
number of people
I'm
here.
trying to calm that down, but I think we'll get into a schedule and a groove.
Yeah.
Definitely by the new year. I'm unfortunately leaving for 2 months, and Elle is leaving for a few weeks before I leave. So
we'll figure it all out. Like
Yeah.
we literally today we're just like, hey, let's just press record.
And
Let's
go.
just see what happens. And you know what? Here we are.
Yeah.
TropiQ.
So let's see what happens.
So I think that on the next episode, once again, I'm gonna put you, under the fire
Okay.
with some questions.
Perfect.
And I really am excited for people to kind of really hear your story. We'll dive deeper into that. And
And then the next episode, I'll do the same with Elle, and everyone can learn why everyone loves panda. So
why everyone also loves big game. Mike,
yes, yes.
But till then, I think that we hope you check in with us the next time.
Yes.
And it's been exciting to just kind of sit here and chat with you for a little bit with the giraffe in the background.
Definitely.
Any final words, Big Game Mike?
I think we've had a good conversation today, and I look forward to down the road having many more.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we're out. Bye, everyone.
Bye. That was good.